And here she is, Nicki Clyne, just like I said, at Arcane Comics. So, welcome to Arcane Comics and welcome to Seattle.
Thank
so
you.
Glad you're here. How are you doing?
It's so nice of you to welcome me on behalf of the whole city. Yeah,
So
it's
you
good to be
enjoying your time
here. Yeah, I mean, I just flew in from New York this morning and literally came straight from the airport to here. So my suitcase is in the back there. My shoulder's killing me a little bit from lugging around pictures of myself. Sorry, I got a little distracted by people talking. But I made it, and it's been great actually. I've only done a comic book shop appearance once ever before, but this has been, I mean, steady people coming through. Everyone is so happy and warm. I mean, warm literally because it's quite hot here, but also warm in just how nice. Yeah, I can't believe it. It's just been great. I couldn't have planned it to work out better than it is.
And so, you know, Nicki was originally supposed to be at Galacticon, and due to some problems there, she wasn't. And now she's here with us, which is awesome. So, speaking of Battlestar Galactica, how has that show impacted your life? You were a major part of the show, and well, everyone still knows comics.
Yeah, I mean it's such a hard question to answer because I think it's probably impacted my life in ways I'm not even aware of, and it's one of those things that over time I've gotten used to it, and when something's a part of your life, you don't really notice it in the same way that other people might be able to see or make those distinctions. You know, my roommates, when I was filming the show, used to make fun of me because they'd be like, "So, have you been rescued from that planet yet?" Like, I'd come home from work all dirty and covered in blood, and they're like, "Oh, you're still on the planet, huh?" And it's kind of surreal when you think about those things. And then, of course, even after the show ended, because there's such an incredible fan community surrounding, science fiction in general, but specifically Battlestar, like, I really think we have the best fans. And I think obviously I'm biased, so I acknowledge that, and I don't, I have friends who are on other shows, and I don't see that they have the same type of interactions or even just the same type of conversations that we get to have, because Battlestar had such smart writing. I think it reached an audience that really appreciated the depth and the character development that Battlestar had, and it brought up some really important questions about, like, what happens if our technology gets ahead of us? What happens if we create something that has intelligent life? I mean, these things are happening. And the writers on Battlestar really took a lot of parallels for even news events that were happening in the world at the time to sort of make a commentary and ask questions about, like, what's good, what's bad? Oh, you think this is good? Well, now look at it this way. And I think that's the beauty of Battlestar and how science fiction can kind of take you outside of your own belief system to get you to try to question things differently. So I know that was a really long tangent, and I don't even remember what your question was, but how has Battlestar impacted my life? A lot. I talk about like really nerdy things now I never did before. No, but I mean, I've always been interested in philosophy and understanding why we do what we do as humans, so I just feel so lucky, really, that I happened to, as an actor, get on a show like this, because, like I say, and as you know, there's a lot of TV out there that's not that. And so
like Battlestar Galactica hit on all kinds of different things, from race, religion, to all of it,
exactly.
Dying love, everything.
Yeah. Yes.
When Kelly, for lack of a better term, got airlocked, we still cry.
Yes.
But it didn't make me not love Rick anymore. I still love her too.
Fair enough.
When you found out your character was being airlocked, spoilers.
Yeah, right.
How did you react?
Well, basically what happened was we were on hiatus between I guess it was the third and fourth seasons, because we were 4 full seasons then in the miniseries. And I hadn't heard anything yet about them renewing my contract or what was happening, and I wasn't totally worried because it had happened to me before that they kind of forgot about me. Like, they forgot that I didn't have a contract for many years. Callie was just like, each year the character grew and grew, which was awesome, but I got to negotiate a new contract each year. And I hadn't heard anything, so I asked my agent to check in and see what was going on, and finally I got a phone call from Ron Moore's assistant saying Ron Moore and David Icke Ron Moore's the creator and producer, and David Icke was the producer, wanted to speak with me. So, being ever the optimist that I am, I was like, maybe they want to give me my own spin-off series. No, I kind of had a feeling about what that might mean. We knew at that point that it was going to be the last season, so it wasn't a total shock, and it wasn't a total loss in that sense either, because everyone was going to be ending. But I was nervous. I mean, I didn't know what that meant, and obviously the show meant a lot to me, and I really loved being a part of it. I mean, yes, it was a job, and as an actor, like, you want that type of security, but really we were like a family. So to not have that anymore was a big deal, and that was more what I was concerned with. And anyway, they were really nice and gracious and said that it had nothing to do, obviously it wasn't personal, we think you're great, it makes sense for the storyline, this is what, they actually didn't tell me anything about how it was going to happen, so they didn't say you're getting airlocked, they just said your character's going to die. And I felt actually, I trusted the writers enough that they would give Callie an epic ending, or at least I had hoped, and I think they did. I think they did. So, yeah, I mean, that whole episode, the director and I worked really hard on figuring out the different symbolism and what was going on for the character, and I got all those great flashbacks. I don't know if you noticed the filming of some of the sort of dreamlike parts where she's really struggling. It looks almost soap opera-y. It has this smudgy feel, and what that is actually glass in front of the lens with Vaseline around it. You'd think it's some after effect, but it's not. We did a lot of really cool things like that when we filmed it. And
taking it back to the old school.
Old school, yeah, I know, and that's the beauty of Battlestar, is they really treated it more like a feature film than a TV series, and put a lot of care into how they filmed it, and different mechanisms that they used to get things across. And so in the end, I was really happy. I mean, it was a really sad process to go through. It really felt like a death of something that was really important to me, but at the same time, it was kind of neat to have that closure in a way, and to go through that, and to get to film an awesome episode.
You weren't like a lot of other shows where they end after the first season and
they just,
and you're like,
right,
what happened to them?
Yeah, I know.
So would you do it all again?
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I feel so fortunate to have been on the show, have built the relationships that I have, and to have Battlestar be part of my life, because you're right in your question, is my life was never the same, and it keeps changing and growing, and the fact that people still love the show and either watch it or just it means something to them, and that I can connect with different people all over the world through that, I think is really cool.
It's awesome. So, do you have anything else coming out soon, or you working on any other projects?
Yeah, I actually just started my own business. What that means is, that doesn't really represent what it means. So, for the last year and a half, I've been working with some very smart people working on a way to analyze news. And basically, we developed a whole scientific process of breaking down information into the spin, the slant, and how news sources use logic and logical fallacies to distort information and change the way that you're perceiving what's going on in the world. And for me, that's a very important cause, is to like address the information that we're getting about what's happening, because that informs our whole perception of the world. You know, we trust the news, and there's no accountability, there's no responsibility of saying, like, you're presenting this, but is that actually going on? So we have a website, and we're actually in the process of redoing everything, like the whole visual aspect. So I haven't gone on like a mass promoting thing yet, but I will probably in about a month or so.
Can you tell us the website?
Yeah, the website is ethicalmedia.org. So you can see kind of the basics of what we do and what our mission is and where it's headed. And then in about a month, we're going to have this like beautiful, you know, infographics and different data visualizations, so you can understand what news sources are doing to information.
That's awesome. That's a really great idea. Wow.
Thank you.
Nicki Clyne, taking on the world.
Yeah.
Right here. You witnessed it. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for
you.
talking to us, and thank you for coming to Seattle
you.
to still see your fans despite all the other things that happen.
Yeah, it's been great.
And so, I'm Ronnie. And again, we're at Arcane Comics. Let me pronounce that right. Arcane Comics. And
Got it.
this is the beautiful Nicki Clyne. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.